Hey everybody, it's Willow Landria, and I already just made that one video about my Costco trip, and I thought I would actually try to update and see go through my little chart that I did last week about coronavirus and how everything is going on. So let's go to the chart. Okay, so it's Monday, and a lot has actually happened just in the weekend. If this is from the Oregonian over here, and we can kind of see where we're at as far as how we're progressing. We are currently at as of yesterday. Well, I guess they're saying today. It says the 24th, but it's saying 209 positive people that are reported to have coronavirus, and we're currently at 8 deaths. Compare that to Washington, who is at 2,221 positive coronavirus with 110. And it's good to compare exactly where how they're doing, where we're doing. I wish I had a better way to do that, so I created a chart off of the limited amount of data that I had. Took some of the data that was over here and I compared it to the data I could find for Washington State, and I got it over here. And this is, so if you follow this is kind of, because it went the data that I found for Washington, it went every other day. There was only one day where it wasn't, but you can kind of see where the trend is going, where they're going up this way. And they kind of started, we started probably around here. We started on the 3rd. We had our first case on the March 3rd. They had Washington had their first on the 28th. Now, they're definitely more densely populated than we are, but they obviously probably had more international travel coming in from China, and you had that big, huge outbreak that happened over in Everett, Washington, and those are two different areas. So they actually have two different areas. If you look at that, they have King County, where 87 deaths have happened over there in King County of the 110 that they had, and Snohomish have 11 deaths. And I believe that Snohomish is the one that's closest to Everett. Yeah, because here's Everett, which this is probably where this happened. This Snohomish County is more likely where those deaths in Everett from that nursing home, where that nursing home was. That's where that was. Seattle, King County has 87 deaths, so that's not looking good at all. When you compare that for what they're going through and what we're going through here in Portland, wow. But are we heading there? Oh, I don't know, because like I said, if I look at the chart here and see where we're trending, we're actually trending pretty good compared to what they were doing. Like I said, we started pretty much close to the same, but they kind of really ramped up, and which is why. But they're reacting the way that the way that their governor is reacting. He's reacting the way he is because their numbers are so high. Kate Brown over here, she was actually quite hesitant to actually do anything because we don't seem, the way that we're trending, it doesn't seem to be a problem. But that, I believe, is the mistake that you can make with this virus, is that if you think, oh, well, we're not doing so bad, well, yeah, but you got to do the social distancing now. And you got to do the social distancing and actually do the social distancing. And she wasn't really firm in what was being said as to, she was kind of being wishy-washy as. So I wanted to touch on this a little bit about, remember like a week ago when we were all not, not really sure exactly what was happening. There were rumors. I remember this because I went out after work on a Sunday, and there was rumors that they were going to be closing the bar or something like that. Well, here's the article. Here's an article from KGW. And this is what she said at the time then. Okay, we're going to restaurants, bars to takeout delivery only. Bans gatherings of 25 or more. Well, of course, that kind of, when people heard that, okay, 25 or more, and then it went down to 10, and now it's saying stay at home. It's that kind of it's that slow roll, which in some ways I guess to try to get people to do it. But the thing is, because she didn't get firm down on it, people didn't necessarily take it seriously. Because it's like, oh, okay, so it's a suggestion. That's exactly, that she's just kind of making these suggestions. So you had what ended up happening over the weekend is you had people going to the beach, and from what I understood, there were so many people that were at the beach, and it was just chaos. I mean, Andy No. If you go to his Twitter, he put up a Twitter on there, and it was kind of crazy what he had on there on his Twitter, as far as showing how many people were actually there on the beach. They had lines of cars on the beach, which I think is, I guess, okay. They're okay. We'll stay in our cars on the beach. I don't know. That's really bizarre. Anyway, she kind of stepped up a little bit, I believe, today, and is trying to tell people to be a little bit more firm. And she's actually, if I understand correctly, she's actually putting some teeth into the police, that if they find people not being where they should be or not doing, being serious about this, that there is a misdemeanor charge that can be put in, which is, I believe, around $1,200. So there's some teeth now. Now she's actually showing that it's going to be a little serious. But who knows? Who knows if that happens? Because this state is just kind of crazy, right? I mean, it's like, who knows what's going to happen? So this is Oregon and Washington. Let's look at what the rest of the country is doing. What I did was I have this. This is our total cases. And we are the U.S. We're not looking good as the U.S. And, of course, that's not here in Oregon for me, but for places like New York and New York, New Jersey seems to be the place that's happening a lot. If we go over here to the numbers here over at Worldometers, New York, they've already got 25,000. They are huge. Oh my gosh, it's just kind of crazy over there. And there's New Jersey. It's way behind, but these numbers, they can escalate really quickly, just like how they're doing for New York, and that can get crazy. And here's Washington. Washington is now the fourth. It's just escalating. And if you saw what the Surgeon General said, he actually sounded scared.
I want America to understand this week it's going to get bad, and we really need to come together as a nation. I heard the stories that you were just playing, young people out on beaches. We see here in D.C. that the district set up a cam for people to watch the cherry blossoms. You look on the cam, you see more people walking around than you see cherry blossoms. And this is how the spread is occurring. And so we really need everyone to stay at home. You don't think people are taking it seriously? I think that there are a lot of people who are doing the right things, but I think that, unfortunately, we're finding out a lot of people think this can't happen to them. When you look at what's going on in New York, and we said this at the beginning of our 15 Days to Stop the Spread initiative, that the numbers you see reflect what happened 2 weeks ago. We don't want Dallas or New Orleans or Chicago to turn into the next New York, and it means everyone needs to be taking the right steps right now, and that means stay at home.
That he was stating that it's going to get It's going to really bad this week. Expect these huge jump in numbers, and I believe it. If we're going, just kind of seeing how everything is trending, and everything here in the U.S. Look at this sharp. Look at this. Where we're headed. It's going way up. This is Italy here, and we see how bad Italy was. We're catching up to Italy. Look at this. Where we're headed. We're catching up to Italy. Italy is probably still going to go up, but at the rate that we're going, it's not looking good as far as where we're going. And these are just the cases. If we look at the total deaths, the death count that we're doing, same kind of thing. Here's Italy, USA. We're still down here. So we may be having a lot of cases that go up, which is still important, because the more cases that we get, the more space is going to be taken in the hospitals, and that's where we get that problem where we're trying to flatten that curve. We're trying to flatten that curve so that our hospitals are not going to be overdone. Now, even if we don't do that, we're probably going to get to the point where, okay, we can get these people, or if they're not totally sick, we'll send them home, but self-quarantine in your home, even though you have it. But you're not to the point where you need a ventilator. You're not to the point where you need totally 24-hour nursing care. You have it. We know you have it, but you need to go back home and self-quarantine. It is the ones that are really critical that are going to need the ventilators and whatnot. Hopefully, we'll get to the point where we can flatten that curve. And this is the total deaths. Our deaths are not. If you look at the death rate, it's not looking that bad. It's going there. We're kind of with France. This is with France. That's over here. And who is this? Spain. Spain is way up there. Now, what I did is I wanted to see, like I think I said this last time. I made the chart was be a comparison and had everyone kind of how it started, so we can kind of look at that. And if we put everyone starting at the same amount of time, and if all these cities that I have right here, if they all started on a day one, say we all started, because they all didn't start at the same time. We all started at different times, but then I moved them so that the timelines were somewhat close to each other, and we can kind of see, like, this I believe is China. We can never believe any of their numbers. So they're saying they're going up there, and they're saying that Italy, which is this one here, and Spain are really bad because they're just going straight up. This is where they're going. This is us, the U.S., and as you can see, Iran, who is a lot farther along than us and way up, we are trending worse. Like, we're going to go worse than them because they're kind of going this way. Well, it looks like we're going to be trending worse than they are. So it's really hard to say. And then here's China. It looks like we're even actually going towards, like, we're going to surpass what China is doing. And we know China, they're cresting around 3,000 something, 3,200, 3,277 is where they're at. But so this eventually goes all the way up to here. If we can eventually, as the days go on, as we can eventually slow that down, we can hopefully get that more, and not, because like right now you can see we're kind of passing where Iran is, and Iran's smaller though. We are definitely a much bigger country, which is why we're probably going to be passing that, but it's not good. Right here is South Korea, which is like the benchmark that we want to do. But as you can see here, they are low. But if we look at the total deaths, this is us. Down here, you can't really see. The colors change as I go from one to another, so you can't really go by that. So South Korea is still down here. South Korea is down here, and we're up here. So hopefully we can keep these deaths down lower and still kind of come out of that in better shape than like Italy. Italy's like, look at Italy. This is they're just going crazy over here. They're at 6,000 already over here. Wow. So hopefully we don't go that route and go with that position that they're at. And we'll see if we can go even under what China has done at 3,200, even though I don't really necessarily believe that number that China is saying. All right, everybody. So that's all I've got to say for you. I just wanted to touch base, and hey, I'll see you all on the next video.